Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Kobold Chats. My name is Kendrick or Kendo, whichever you prefer, and hey, it's Friday. You know what that means. It's the end of our week, the middle of our day, and we get to do my favorite thing, and that's talk about Kobold Press stuff. How you all doing? It's been a hot second, and by a hot second, I mean a week, because I was driving all of last week, or not all of last week, but that Friday, I left my home and I moved to a new home, and I'm here now after 1,700 miles or thereabout. It's been a long drive, and now I'm ready to just sit back, relax, and talk all of the cool stuff. Specifically because I think between the last time we talked and now, Campaign Builder Dungeons and Ruins is now available for everyone. Yes. The Kickstarter stuff has been fulfilled. Most people should already have all of their books. If not, they should be getting them very soon. I know mine is still on its way here. Actually, very funny. My Dungeons, I backed it. I got the limited editions. I got and like the PDF, I think, and it was supposed to get to me before I moved, and USPS had a little oopsie. And so I didn't get it before I moved, and it actually arrived after I moved, which is a whole thing, but I'll be getting it. I'm super excited to check out, to have the hardcover. But today we will be looking through the PDF, specifically talking about the new character options that are in the book, because I think, hold on, let me make sure I'm saying the thing correctly. I think I'm correct in that this is the first book that has Tales of the Valiant specific subclasses for Tales of the Valiant, because I think the other, so this will be like the first expansion on a lot of those character options that are specifically for Tales of the Valiant. Obviously also 5th edition, because everything is like cross-compatible, but I think the only previous thing that wasn't the player's guide was Castles and Crowns, which also has subclasses and things of that nature, but I think was still leaning a little bit more into 5e mechanics. I could be wrong on that. I'm pretty sure I'm right, though. So this is like the first time that we're saying, oh, these were made for Tales of the Valiant. So I'm super excited to see what we're going to get out of that. But before we get there, we just got some small stuff I got to get through first. So let's do that. Yeah, first and foremost, the Monster Vault 2 Kickstarter finished yesterday. We ended it out, hold on, wait, let me pull it up here for you. Yeah, we ended out on $262,000, almost $262,100, $1 short off of that. But yes, that's thanks to a lot of you that we were able to get to hit our goal, hit a bunch of stretch goals. We got new monsters from some of our guest designers. We got new adventures. We got we unlocked a lot of the stuff for the monster harvesting PDF and so much more. So thank you all for another successful Kickstarter for Kobold Press. And if you haven't already backed Monster Vault 2, there is still time. And I don't really know when the cutoff is. We'll let you know whenever that cutoff is. But if you haven't backed already, or know people who haven't backed already, they can still go to the Kickstarter and back the Monster Vault 2 to get some of the the Kickstarter only benefits, right, for backing one of our things. So there's still time. There's still time. If you haven't done it already, there's still time. Which means that there's also still time for us to potentially unlock at least one more of these stretch goals at 266,000, which is only 4,000 away. 4,000 and some change away, or actually like 3,000 and some change away. We can still get Scroll Vault of Malzegar, which is an adventure for levels 3 and 4 by Richard Pett. We can still get that. We can still hit that that stretch goal even after this. So again, if you haven't done it already, or you know people who haven't done it already, come on, I want this adventure, and I'm sure many of you do as well. So let's see if we can hit that. Kim is in here. Kim might actually know when the specific cutoff date for backing for potential benefits and stuff will be post. I don't know if Kim actually knows. The haha makes me a little bit less confident in my very brazen statement that Kim would know. But tell us all your Kickstarter secrets. That's all my Kickstarter secrets. Kim might have some, but I don't know. You should back before before the end of February. Which means you still have 3 weeks. You still have 3 weeks to tell your friends. We have 3 weeks to get like $3,901. I think we can do that. So that's that. I'm just gonna share the link in all of the relevant chats so you all could go check that out. Okay, awesome. Yes, and we will also be announcing the backer kit date soon as well. So just keep your eyes and ears open for that. Amazing. Next up, we got a new book coming out. And it's a remaster of an old classic. There's some very eagle-eyed fans of ours noticed this before we were able to really get into the before we could really start talking about it too much. But hey, we could talk about it now. You could go pre-order the Old Margreve hardcover and also the PDF. I said hardcover because I was reading, but you could also pre-order the PDF if that's your jam. Over on the Kobold Press store right now, we have done a lot of tender love and care, a lot of looking at and redoing a lot of the old art, trying to update things for Tales of the Valiant, and even creating new adventures within the same old forest, the Old Margreve, which, for all of you people out there who are like, when is there going to be more Midgard stuff? I want more Midgard stuff. Oh, did you all give up on Midgard? No. You just had to let us cook for a bit. We were working on it. Trust and believe us. Will there be a limited edition cover for the Old Margreve? Thank you, Kim. There will not be a limited edition cover for the Old Margreve. This is the cover right here is the cover you get. And honestly, this is gorgeous. I love the deep greens, and like the artist really went off on this, because also like the more you look at it, the more details you notice, like these little green sprites in the front ground. You got these strange soldiers, almost said shoulders, soldiers, going on in the background. You've got Baba Yaga, you've got her chicken hut. This is gorgeous, and it makes me want to do something in the Old Margreve because it just looks cool. I think I put all the links in there in the relevant places. I didn't even see the soldiers. Exactly. The more you look at it, the more stuff there. They're just hanging out in the back here. Are they evil? They have glowing eyes. Are they spirits, demons, ghosts? Who's to say? You're going to have to pre-order and find out. And plus, this item's going to be released April 16th, 2025. That's not that long. That's not that long from now, gang. It's so close. So you can head on over to the store and pre-order those now if you want them. So that is that. Rowling's Word of the Day, Chicken Hut. So true. The Dungeons and Ruins maps. You did not miss us talking about Dungeons and Ruins. I will be showing that. I will be showing Dungeons and Ruins stuff in a bit. I don't have the maps downloaded at this very moment, so maybe that's a next time kind of deal, because we're gonna be talking about Dungeons and Ruins for a bit. So I'll definitely make sure to spend time looking at those cool maps. Especially once I have my once I get my package in, I'll have the maps physically, so I'll also be able to unfold them and show them off. So excited for that. Will it come to VTTs, the Old Margreve? More than we can't answer that at the moment, just because the book's not out yet, and so with the book not out, it's up to, the conversations with those VTTs. It will not be on Roll20 because this is a Tales of the Valiant module, and Tales of the Valiant isn't on Roll20. But for the other VTTs, their chances are probably. But obviously we can't give a hard answer on that because it hasn't happened yet. Awesome. Okay, cool. Woo! I'm in for DMing at Gym Con. Oh, let's go. I love to see that, Hawkeye. Love that. Okay, what's next? Lady of the White Rose Manor. Lady of the White Rose Manor. Hey, once more, we're not giving up on Midgard because we have another Midgard adventure for you. And this one's for 5th edition, which is obviously also for Tales of the Valiant. But if you're playing in a Midgard game, we realize that you don't have a Tales of the Valiant Midgard book. So this would probably be better for you with 5th edition specific rules. So we've got Lady of the White Rose Manor, an adventure for 4 to 5 characters of 5th level. Look at this. God, our art is, it's so, I love our artists. They're so good. They're so good. So this was written by Chris Harris, and we've got a good old-fashioned vampire hunt. The village of Sulca lies in the grim shadow of a vampire mistress, the dread Lady Elinka. Forced to pay a tax in blood for a perceived slight, the village dares to seek relief from the undead terror by hiring a band of intrepid heroes. That's where you come in. Lady of the White Rose Manor is a 22-page 5e adventure set in the Cloudwall Mountains of Midgard. Drop it into your Midgard campaign or transplant White Rose Manor to your homebrew world. It is suitable for 4 to 5 characters of 5th level. You can explore the halls of White Rose Manor, fend off ghouls, ghost knights, lich hounds, and the Lady of White Rose herself, in a classic vampire hunt to liberate Sulca from its sanguine overlord. Prepare for an unforgettable battle against the creatures of the night with Lady of White Rose Manor. Oh, hey, welcome in. Yes, our artists, they're just so good. I love a vampire hunt. Personally, one of my favorite modules has and probably will forever be Curse of Strahd. And so I love anytime I get to have like a vampire lord, some undead, also some of my favorite creatures. So I'm ready to throw some people. This says level 5 through 10. Yikes. Yikes. But also, again, look at our, oh, come on, can I zoom in on this? Is it going to let me zoom in on this? I want to zoom in on this art. Okay, that kind of worked. It kind of worked, not really. Oh, look at this guy. His art, the lighting, the shading. Oh, it's gorgeous. A ghoul beggar? A beggar ghoul? Wait, what's a beggar ghoul? Half CR? Well, I'm going to have to get this PDF and find out. You know what? Maybe next time. I said that we were going to do more Dungeons and Ruins, but I want to look through Lady of the White Rose Manor. I already have it. You can send it to me. I already have it. I do have it downloaded. We're doing Dungeons and Ruins today, so I can't pull it up. I have to I'll figure out a time to put it in. Maybe I need a specific stream where I can just sit down and look through our adventures, because maybe that would be fun. I don't know. Maybe that's a deal. Maybe that's something I'll do in the future. Streams where we just go through. Yeah, no, that sounds fun. That could be good. Much to think on. Locking that away. Okay. But yes, go get Lady of the White Rose Manor over on the Kobold Press store. I'm dropping the links for all of you right now. Kobold Digs. Ooh, not a bad name. Not a bad name whatsoever. All right. So, moving on. We've got a new blog that came out today. Yes, February 7th. As January has ended, which was New Game Masters Month, I hope a lot of you out there who maybe haven't GM'd before maybe took some time to think about what would it be like if I was a Game Master, or maybe even actually started doing it yourself. Well, in that case, Brian Suskind has some new advice for you that you can find over on the Kobold Press blog. And hey, maybe some of this advice is still potentially useful for you as an advanced GM. So, we're looking at Game Changer, advice for new GMs, 4 pro tips to get players to sit down and start playing, which, oh boy, is actually maybe some of the hardest part of trying to get, because hey, once you get past the scheduling portion of like trying to get a game together, you scheduled it out, the day has come, everyone shows up. How do you transition from, okay, we're all here and we're hanging out, to, okay, it's time to sit down and play the game? Well, Brian has some ideas for you. You look up from your carefully prepared campaign notes to gaze at your players from the business side of your GM screen and hear, "Where's the Mountain Dew? I saw the best show the other day. How's the work project going? Then I'm taking the family to that place. I got one of those new gadgets. Did you bring the chips again? You wouldn't believe the traffic. Why, yes, this is a new t-shirts." Game nights are social occasions, to be sure. Presumably, you're playing with people you know and, if you're fortunate, perhaps even like. When we get together, there's a natural tendency to chit-chat and catch up. This is good and healthy, but there quickly comes a moment when you actually have to, start playing the game. Remember the game? The reason we all got together? Some GMs find it hard to get their players to put aside social time. Here's some helpful advice to get your distractible murder hobos to put their butts in their chairs and pick up the dice. Number 1, schedule social time. The first bit of advice might seem the opposite of what we want, but maybe give it a try. Since you know your players are going to want to catch up with each other and be social, reserve some time to do that. Let them get it out of their system. If possible, tell them to arrive for the game 30 to 45 minutes before you actually want them to show up. Say directly that this is social time, and when the top of the hour comes, or whenever the set time of the game is set to start, everyone needs to start gaming. As the GM, you can use this time to finish any game prep, clean the game room, scrub off the wet erase pen you should have really cleaned off after last game, or join in. Talk to your friends without using a funny voice or asking them to roll something. I think this is a strong thing. And this both goes for like gaming, but also anything where you're trying to get people together. Tell them to show up earlier than you genuinely need them to show up, because that's gonna it's gonna save time for if anyone's late. It's gonna give people the social time to sit around, talk, do the thing that they're gonna do, and let you warm up a little bit to get ready to sit down and play the game. So in general, both for games and anything else, yes, this. Number 2. Wait, hold on. Kim says, we come an hour early and I cook them dinner to hopefully get through this. They also sometimes get 30 extra minutes while I clean up. See? There you go. Perfect. Number 2 is use a musical cue. This works well with the gaggle of 15-year-olds in the long-running game I host for my son and his friends. I have a portable Bluetooth speaker that I turn on prior to the first kid arriving. At game time, I queue up something appropriate on my phone and unleash it into the middle of their discussion. It becomes an almost Pavlovian thing. They just shuffle to the game room. Some adults might find this manipulative, so judge your audience carefully. Or just be upfront and tell them what you're doing. Tell the players that the campaign's theme song is everyone's signal to table up. The choice of music is fun. I use John Williams' Summon the Heroes. It's an amazing piece of music that Williams composed for the opening ceremony of the 1996 Olympics, but anything loud and stirring could also work. Here's some few other options with delivery notes. The Final Countdown by Europe. The intro is a bit long, but you can start the volume low and ease it up until it's blasting. O Fortuna by Carl Orff. If classical is your thing, or if you've ever seen the Excalibur movie, this piece should get the player's attention. It might also suggest to them that there is absolutely no way their characters will survive this session. Anvil of Crom from Conan the Barbarian by Basil Polidorus. Speaking of classics, if this song doesn't get your players' blood pumping, they might be dead. After 54 seconds, it slows down, so you only need the start of it. Adventures of Don Juan, the Errol Flynn version. A bit campy, but the horn section really sells it. You really only need the first 45 seconds, then the music slows down. Buck Rogers in the 25th Century, main theme. While the main part of this song is perhaps a bit too 70s, that driving beat at the beginning is totally worth it. Try to get the version without the voiceover unless you happen to actually be running a Buck Rogers RPG. And this is how I find out that Duck Dodgers is a parody of a previous thing, which is kind of cool. And then also various video game soundtracks like Baldur's Gate 3, Dragon's Dogma, Elder Scrolls, or The Witcher's game. Nothing get my players going more than them hearing the Baldur's Gate theme and just hearing down, down, down by the river on repeat. Okay, number 3, Transition Between Rooms. Series by Alan Parsons would be a good one to use. Ooh, I don't know if I'm familiar with that. Yeah, Kim is the MVP or MVGM. Number 3, transition between rooms. If you're lucky enough to have a gaming space separate from the room where the players usually gather before the game, then try a room transition. Don't let the players into the room other than to drop off bags, books, and dice. Have them socialize in the kitchen with snacks or whatever before the game starts. When it's game time, open the door. Maybe metaphorically, but that's okay. And usher them inside. This has the effect of making the gaming room the place to sit down and game rather than a place to socialize. I think that this is a very subtle but very strong way to signify. And the same reason for like why people say like you shouldn't have your office in your bedroom or so on and so forth, because our brains can connect different physical spaces with different things that we should be doing, and that helps us prepare. The ritual of, okay, I'm done socializing, we're leaving the kitchen, we're going into the game room, or a different room if the kitchen is the game room, whatever works best. Number 4, do a game recap. This is my personal preference and the one that I use the most for my home games. At the start of each game session, have a player recap the events of last game. Ideally, at least one player is taking notes of some sort. As the players recap, it acts to suck them back into the tension, thrills, and excitement you so carefully established last game. Once your players get into the habits of this, they'll start throwing in their own recollections and thoughts about the recap as it unfolds. You'll start hearing things like, remember we were building up to argue about you going off on your own without telling the party? Or, crud, we really should have kept that poor villager alive. Now what are we going to tell the Duke? They become their own hype machine, and they're ready once they're ready to go once they're done. I think the game recap is a thing you should be doing just in general. I think I can't even imagine having like sitting down to play a game that's like long running and not doing the recap, partially just because for this exact reason, right? Because like it's going to get people it's going to get people into the story, right? They're going to be like, okay, I remember where I was emotionally, narratively, like what we were doing. Because also not everybody's great at remembering, especially if you don't have like a weekly game. Like if it's like we do this every other week or we do this once a month, some people are probably going to have a hard time remembering exactly what's going on. So this in general is just really good, which is great. Honestly, I think personally, you should maybe use like multiple of these. Like there's no reason to only do one of them, right? You could generally do all of these, right? If you schedule social time, have like musical cues where you were like playing just like a general playlist, and then the campaign theme starts, you open the door because you were in a different room, and then you start off with the game recap. Like that's I think that's a wonderful transition from like, okay, we're here, I'm showing up with my friends, we're having a good time before we're playing the game, you know, I'm just telling them about my day or like what happened in the last week, and then boom, the music changes, the door opens, GM ushers me in, we sit down, recap starts, I'm ready to play this game. It's like, it's beautiful. Jason says, we have a shared notes doc. I've gone to starting the game off with where we left off. If the players want more than that, they can review the notes doc. I found they were completely tuning out when when we recap the whole previous session. Yeah, it's very much like you want to hit beats. You don't want to say everything that happened. You need the most important information. And sometimes the way to like keep them from tuning out is to have them do it. But I also find that it's hard, like if you don't have a person who's taking notes, which sometimes I have games with people where like there isn't someone taking notes. I'm note keeper as well as GM. I also just tend to have a better memory about like things that have happened in games. So as the GM, sometimes I do it, but then I invite them to be like, did I miss anything? Are there any questions or like or clarifying things that you need from this? If like, oh yeah, we got this clue. What did that clue mean again? We had this conversation, and then that gets them all talking together about like what do they remember. So yeah, a shared note stock I think is really good actually, because then that creates like a communal responsibility of like keeping things together. Because different people are going to latch on to different stuff for sure. In summary, a game session is undeniably a social occasion. However, it can be tricky to get people to focus on the game. Using these suggestions can get your players into the headspace of the game, but be cautious you don't resort to more dramatic solutions. Air horns or spritzing players with water from a spray bottle or pelting them with D4s will probably be counterproductive, unless the goal is to make this the final session. I mean, maybe you do. If they don't respond to the Conan soundtrack, they might be zombies. What do you think? So yeah, amazing. I love this. Oh, check back first Friday of each month for more Game Changer. Love this. So this advice column is going to be something that you can expect the first Friday of every month. Love that. Thank you, Brian. All right. So I put it off for long enough. It's time. It's time, gang. We're talking campaign builder, Dungeons and Ruins. Bum, bum, bum. So, here it is. God, these three adventurers. Are these? This is a Liaison. Who are these guys? Who are you guys? You're not one of the Valiant Six, but this is. Who's to say? Who's to say? Well, here we are in Campaign Builder Dungeons and Ruins. Now, in this neat little book, we got lots of stuff here. Look at this. Oh my god, delving into the unknown. Using this book, defining dungeons, elements of exploration, and interacting with your environment. Not just description. We've got the Dungeoneering heroes that we're going to be looking at. The semi-Valiant apprentices. Ooh, I kind of like the apprentices of the Valiant. Valiant apprentices. Or Valiant, is there another term? Intern? Intern's probably a little too modern. I'm not sure. Who's to say? But we're looking through Dungeoneering heroes. We got a lot of character options in this. We've got subclasses, new heritages, new backgrounds, new talents, adventuring gear, mounts, vehicles, magic items, and spells. Ooh, all of that good, juicy stuff, baby. And then there's also the chapters about running exploration, talking about how to build dungeons, dungeon seeds, talking about malign magic and mechanisms. We're talking curses, disease, hazards, and traps, puzzles, and skill challenges. There's so much going on here. And I'm so excited to get through it all. But today, we're starting on Dungeoneering heroes, because that's what Tales of the Valiant has needed for some time. New character options, and they're here. So, hold on, I gotta stop here and just look at this and go, dang, that art looks good. Look at that art. Gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous. Great work. 10 out of 10. The girl on the cover in the green is the same girl from the cover of the Game Masters. Ooh. Hold on. OBS disconnected for a hot second. Give me 1 second. Making sure that everything is still okay. OBS reconnected. Checking on Twitch. I don't know why OBS disconnected. That's strange and has never happened before. Okay, it's reconnected on Twitch once more. So we should be good? Okay, cool. Awesome. Thank you. Yeah, OBS was just being weird. All right, so let's talk about this first subclass. The Barbarian subclass, mycelial. Barbarians who walk the mycelial path deliberately infest themselves with fungal spores, cultivating a fungal membrane, a second fungal skin that grows over their own, letting the mycelium penetrate through their bodies. Some barbarians choose to keep the presence of their second skin secret, keeping any visible signs beneath clothing, while others cultivate artistic patterns that resemble tattoos that they display proudly. As the mycelial barbarian grows in power, their fungal membrane becomes more pronounced and prominent. Veteran mycelial barbarians are entirely crusted over with fungal growths. When a mycelial barbarian enters a rage, their fungal membrane releases spores that remain active for the duration. These spores power some of their abilities, but become quiescent when the barbarian isn't in rage. Certain sects of mycelial barbarians revere mycelid cultures and go on pilgrimages to mycelid settlements, hoping to gain a better understanding of the fungi they are in symbiosis with. Savvy myceloids might take advantage of this reverence, often setting tasks for the barbarians that help the myceloid collective. Hey gang, that's sick. That's so cool. That's awesome. Fungal barbarian. That's so cool. Now I want a book. Now I want subclasses for everyone with with funguses. Okay, so the spore aura is a third level feature. While raging, the fungus on your skin releases an invisible cloud of spores that extends 10 feet from you in every direction, but not through total cover. This aura has an effect based on the type of spores you emit that activates when you begin raging, and you can activate the effect again on each of your turns as a bonus action. When you enter rage, so you get to choose every time you start your rage. Bolstering spores. One friendly creature you can see within the aura, so within 10 feet, has advantage on their next attack roll it makes before the start of your next turn. Each time you activate this feature, you can choose a different creature. Okay. So, choose what? So, I activate my spores. I choose one friendly creature. They have advantage on the next attack. So, it's just one attack, which honestly, fair. That's it. It feels... It's not incredibly powerful. It's good, right? You start your rage, you could go do your stuff. Someone within you, because I don't think they need to still be in range of you when they make the attack, because you give them advantage the moment you activate your rage. So you activate rage, they can move outside of your aura and then attack. So this is like a good, we're starting the fight now, let's get a strong start. I like that. Phrenic spores. One creature you can see within the aura has disadvantage on the next attack roll it makes against you before the start of your next turn. And you have advantage on the next save you make against its spells and other effects before the start of your next turn. Okay, cool. You run up to someone, you bam, spore them. Phrenic spores, they have disadvantage against you. Wait, do you choose it? I guess, yeah, you choose it when you do it. Each time you activate this effect, you can choose a different creature. Okay, so I'm trying to figure out if when you activate them, does this maintain... Yeah, does it maintain even after they leave? I feel like it should. One creature you can see. Well, okay, I guess for the second one. And you have advantage on the next save you make against its spells and other effects before the start of your next turn. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So yes, this as a GM, I would read this as long as they were within the aura when you activate it, this effect lasts, for its duration, even if they leave after, because you're choosing them at the moment when you do activate it and your spores go out. So even if they leave, they still have the spores on them. Okay. Necrotic spores. Each creature within your aura must succeed a con save or take necrotic damage equal to your proficiency bonus. Just love that. Amazing. Each creature within the aura must... Okay, so these are just... So are all of these just activating? Yeah, all of these are only activating once you start your aura. Okay, cool. So this wouldn't be continual damage, I don't believe. This would only be... Yeah, this is just once it happens. Got it. Oh, wait, okay, this aura has an effect, okay, that activates when you begin raging, and you can activate the effect again on each of your turns as a bonus action. I should have finished reading. That makes sense. Okay, as a bonus action, you could do all of these again. Okay, I understand now. I understand it now. Okay, cool. I just didn't finish reading the main part of it before I finished it. Okay, cool. Level 7, Devour Death. Your fungal membrane makes you resistant to necrotic damage and allows you to gain some vitality through death around you. From death around you. If you start... Sorry, my brain is acting really slow right now. If you start your turn with 0 HP and you are within 10 feet of a creature that died no less than 1 hour ago, you have advantage on any death saves that you make. If you are at 0 HP and become stable while within 10 feet of such a creature, you also regain HP equal to your proficiency bonus, as your fungal membrane absorbs nutrients from the creature's corpse. That's wild. That's wild. If you regain HP in this way, that creature is no longer a valid target for this feature. Understandable. You can only do that once. See, excuse me. In addition, if you expend 1 or more hit dice during a short rest to regain hit points, and you're within 10 feet of a creature that died no less than 1 hour ago, when you do so, you regain additional hit points equal to your proficiency bonus. So just carry around a dead thing that you killed, and you can get some new hit. That's kind of funny. I kind of like that. It creates a very wanting to be around dead things so that you can absorb them. It reminds me of in Baldur's Gate 3, how the mycolid colony is using the bodies to as fertilizer, basically, for more fungi. Love it. Oh, who's this jaunty fellow? Okay, next we have Empowered Spore Aura. The cloud of spores you emit becomes more potent. The effect of this potency changes depending on the type of spores you're emitting. Okay, cool. So this is empowering the 3rd level one. Kill more, heal more. So true. Okay, so bolstering and phrenic spores. When you emit bolstering or phrenic spores, you can now choose a number of creatures up to your proficiency bonus, and those creatures can be within 30 feet of you rather than 10 feet. Necrotic spores, while you're emitting necrotic spores, you can choose for your melee weapon attacks to deal necrotic damage instead of their normal damage. That's going to be great for getting around resistances. In addition, when a creature in this aura is reduced to 0 HP, you gain temporary hit points equal to your proficiency bonus. If necrotic damage reduces the creature to 0 hit points, you gain hit points equal to double your proficiency bonus instead. These temporary HP last until expended or until you finish a short or long rest. Whoo, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. Oh, big fungal boy. I love that. And then lastly, they get Fungal Rebuke. Your fungal spores can react to mortal danger. When a creature hits or misses you with an attack while within 10 feet of you, you can use your reaction to deal necrotic damage equal to half your barbarian level to that creature. Oh. Okay. Well, yeah, at 15th level, that's 7, right? So that's just, they go, they miss you with an attack, they're within 10 feet. You just give them a nice bam, give them a nice 7 necrotic damage, chip away at them. I like that. Nice. That's the fungal barbarian. Love that. I'm sorry, the mycelial barbarian. Yeah. Oh, I love them. Okay. Next up, we have the Bard class. For me specifically, the Elegy, College of Elegy, I guess would be. Yeah, bards who align with the College of Elegy seek to discover and chronicle the lives and histories of the dead. They form direct spiritual connection to the realms of the dead and can call on spirits and other past souls. When not interacting with the spiritual presence, they search for the stories of those long lost and forgotten. When they find such stories, they treasure and protect them, so that such histories are never forgotten. In addition to learning these stories, they share them with members of their order and others, so that their death does not consign those stories to the past once more. Ooh, okay. I really like this. This reminds me of in a game that I was running. I made a bard class, a subclass back for 5th edition. That was supposed to be the College of Driftwood, which had like specific like setting stuff that I was doing. About this like realm of like souls that had not been claimed by other deities or entities, and so like all of these lost or forgotten souls ended up in this place called the Landless Sea, this infinite ocean littered with driftwood. And there were and this bard subclass basically was like communing with them, with like the spirits from there. It was supposed to be remembering the dead and all of that good stuff. This seems like that. And probably better than what I did years ago with little design experience. So, Bardic Performance. We get a new Bardic Performance option. Love that. You put on a performance dedicated to reaching across the veil and into realms where spirits reside, weaving word and song to draw them through and power your performance. Enemy creatures within Bardic Performance range must make a Wisdom save versus your spell save DC. On a failure, a creature is frightened until the end of your next turn. Ooh. Ooh. Love that. That's good. I love the fright. I love the ability to frighten. It's such a good condition. It's such a good condition to be able to just throw out on people. Love that. A student of history. These stories of the dead are the stories of the past. You gain proficiency in the history skill if you don't already have it, and you learn 2 languages of your choice. That's neat. And that's just good. That's just good. Witness for the dead. You know the Speak with Dead ritual. It counts as an arcane spell for you and doesn't count against the number of rituals you know. Makes sense. Love it so far. Power from the grave. Even apart from from a specific spirit, you can call on the dead to empower your attacks. You can use a bonus action to deal extra necrotic damage equal to your charisma modifier when you hit a creature with a melee weapon attack. This effect lasts for 1 minute or until you dismiss it, no action required. You can use this feature a number of times equal to your charisma modifier and regain all expended uses when you finish a short rest. Okay, sick. You just get a neat little extra necrotic damage for each melee attack? Okay, yes please. Inspired improvisation. You can draw on the knowledge of the spirits of the dead. As a bonus action, choose 1 skill that you aren't proficient with and 1 language you don't know. You gain proficiency in the chosen skill and know the language for 1 hour. In addition, the first ability check you make with the chosen skill is made with advantage. You can use this feature a number of times equal to your proficiency bonus and regain expended uses when you finish a long rest. And spiritual protection. When you must make a save and have at least one use of your bardic inspiration feature available, you can use it to roll a bardic inspiration die and add the number rolled to your save. Ooh. If you succeeded on the save, you get to keep the bardic inspiration die. What? Oh, that's cool. But if you fail the save, the die is expended. I love that. You get to keep the die if you succeed is kind of cool. That's great. All right. Ooh, a new mechanist subclass. Wonderful. The demolitionists. Oh. For all you grenadiers out there, all you explosive lovers, mechanists who pursue the demolitionist craft use their knowledge to destroy, dismantle. That may be a little strong. Well, it's a 15th level. It's at 15th level. I at that point, you're supposed to have a little strong stuff, you know. To protect those in the range of their work, demolitionists are also experts at using both technological and magical shielding to control the spread of damage and limit unintended harm. Okay, so let's blow some stuff up. Augment. You gain the following unique effect for your augment feature. This effect can't be replaced and doesn't count against the number of effects that you know, as shown in the augment effects known column of the mechanist progression table. So, what do we get? Unmake? Oh, okay. Item requirement. Large or smaller item that isn't being worn or held. You imbue an item with the ability to break down into its component pieces in one of several ways. While you touch the item, you can use an action to set or change the item's trigger and unmaking effect. To set or change the item's trigger and unmaking effect. When the item is within 60 feet, you can use a reaction to trigger its unmaking effect. You can also set the item to trigger when a creature you specify comes within 30 feet of it at a specific time or when the specific environmental conditions are met. Okay, you can make bombs. You can make anything a bomb. I guess. That's fun. Your GM has final say on what is considered a reasonable trigger. The item can react in one of the following ways. At your GM's discretion, an item might be able to react in other comparable ways. So breakdown. This item separates into its base components. You may designate one of these components as the key material in the item. This material instantly teleports into your hand with no action required if you're within 60 feet of the item. Love, okay, okay, miner, heading down there. Yeah, I'm just going to set some bombs. I just want all the coal. Please give me all of the coal. It explodes. I have it now. Wonderful. Disintegrate. The item crumbles into fine dust. The area in a 10-foot cube surrounding the object is lightly obscured by the dust for 1 round. Ooh. Okay. Okay, that's fun. You can make like little small dust fogs to yeah. It's just lightly obscured, but that's still pretty good. And I guess what if you okay? Sorry, I'm gonna keep reading. Or explode. The item explodes into pieces. Any creature within a 10-foot radius of the item must succeed on a DC 12 dex save or take 2d4 bludgeoning damage. A wee bit of damage, but hey, it's fun. And especially if you're using it to trigger like without them knowing, you know, you get surprise on them and all that good stuff. Oh, my cat. All right, Shard of Destruction. So your Shard of Creation gets 2 additional properties. Demolish. While touching the shard to a non-magical object of medium size or smaller that isn't being worn or held, you can use an action and expend 1 charge from the shard to permanently destroy that item. If there are no witnesses, a slight residue in the after if there are no witnesses, a slight residue in the aftermath of the destruction gives those in the area a sense that something is missing, and a successful investigation check reveals what it was. DC equals your augment save, so on and so forth. So touching a non-magical object of medium size or smaller. So this is most like tables, doors, are doors medium size? That's a great question. I would say yes. Are doors medium size? Doors are medium size, right? Yeah, I would say doors are medium size. So you could do that to a door. Sick. Depower. When touching the shard to a magic item with charges, as an action, you can remove 1d4 charges from the item. If the item loses its final charge because of depowered, it isn't destroyed. Ooh, okay. Ooh, this is a great way to... I think knowing that Mechanist would have this means that there's like a huge opportunity for game masters to give like villains like magic items with charges, and it's like, oh, I have to do this ritual, I have like a certain number of charges on this big magic thing that I'm using to do it, and then the Mechanist gets there and they're like, absorbing your power, screw you, dog, you don't get to do it. I like that. Disruptive Force, 7th level. Your commitment to the demolitionist's craft grants you the ability to temporarily disrupt the functionality of an item used by another. Choose one of the following abilities. The thing I was just talking about. Drain. As an action, you can make a melee spell attack using your augment attack modifier, see your augment effects, against a magic item within reach. On a successful hit, the item loses all functionality until the start of your next turn. I'm so big-brained. The exact thing I was just thinking of. On a successful hit, the item loses all functionality until the start of your next turn. In addition, any creature within 10 feet of the item must make a dex save against your augment save DC. And on a failure, that creature can't cast magic until the start of your next turn, as if under the effects of the anti-magic field spell. Beautiful. Glitch. As an action, you can make a melee attack using your augment modifier against a mechanical item within reach. On a successful hit, the item loses all functionality until the start of the next turn. So this you can either drain magic or you can make mechanical stuff not work. Love that. This is gonna be great for like trying to stop traps. This is great. Yeah, and so is a lot of this, right? Like the unmake, like all of these, like this is great for getting through dungeons, taking down traps, magical hazards, things of that nature. And then at 11th level, you get greater destruction. Your demolish can now be used on any large or smaller things. Depower takes 1d6 rather than 1d4 charges. Great. Catastrophic Force. Also at 11th level, your drain ability on a successful hit, the affected item loses functionality for 1d4 plus 1 rounds. Any creature that fails its dex save can't cast magic as long as it is within 10 feet of a non-functioning item. Oh, so good. Glitch. On a successful hit, the item loses 1d4 plus 1. A creature that fails its dex save is knocked prone in addition to getting stunned. I think I missed this part. In addition, any creature within 10 feet of the item must make a dex save against your augment save, and on a failure, the creature is stunned. Oh, that's cool. That's so cool. I missed that part on both of them. Neat. And then at 15th level, you get more demolish and depower stuff, 1d8 rather than 1d6. You can now destroy any huge or smaller non-magical items, including walls, structures, and vehicles. Love that. And then Unseen Augment at 15th level. You can now use your ranged augment feature on items you can't see, as long as they're within 120 feet of you, and you are aware of their general position or location. Amazing. Hold on, let me drink some water real quick. Delicious. All right, so new monk subclass. Psychic echoes. Monks who follow this way develop the ability to read the psychic imprints on items, even if they were last touched by a living creature decades or even centuries ago. These imprints essentially echoes of the item's past, can inform a practitioner of how an item was used, who used it, and when. These monks begin with vague feelings and suspicions, but as their abilities grow, they see into the past through the psychic echoes. Psychic echoes monks primarily read the impressions on unattended items or inanimate forms, but also train to read items held or worn by other creatures, or even the dirt and detritus that cling to creatures without gear. This allows them to detect weaknesses in their enemy's armor or forms, striking at weak points. These monks typically avoid handling weapons, their own or others, outside of combat because of the echoes of violence and death that cling to them. They often make gifts of weapons that they have used, opting for newly made weapons to avoid such dark echoes. Oh, that's interesting. That's really interesting. I like the idea of this order of monks, right, who are who probably use violence sparingly, right? Like use violence when needed, but then afterwards, gifting their weapons. What would be the most interesting, right? They don't cling onto the weapons because of the dark echoes of violence and blood and all of that. But who would they give it to? Would they give it to their loved ones? Why? Because those are dark echo. That those are that's bad vibes, right? Why would you give the bad vibe weapons to your friends? Do you give them to your enemies? Do you send them to the people? Do you send them to the people hey, here are the weapons we use to kill all of the people you sent. Have a nice day. You get the bad vibes now. I wash myself of this. I wash myself of the blood of your fallen, and I send it back to you. That's kind of wild, gang. That's a wild thing to do. So this monk will want disposable weapons to avoid psychic buildup. Yeah, maybe weapons that easily break, Weapons that, we can use this for a while, but it's not going to last. And I don't want it to either, actually. I could see them almost even maybe going, gifting, maybe more in, a sacrificial way of, we all get all our weapons and we burn them all. Get rid of them. We don't want the bad vibes anymore. Send that to someone else. Send that to the stars and the skies. Yeah. Or they could be refashioned and remade. Yeah, maybe. If you melted down your blades to reforge new ones, right? Well, maybe then the echoes get kind of processed through that, and then the new echoes on it are the craftsmanship and the hardship of having to reforge them, right? And that creates a new kind of sensibility. I don't know. I like the fiction of these a lot. So third level, they get read echoes. Would give the cleric of the forge a lot more business. So true. So true. You can use an action to read the psychic echoes of an item by touching the objects within with your bare skin. You learn at least one piece of information about the item, such as who created it, what it was used for, who last used it, or when it was last used or touched by a living creature. If you spend a minimum of 1 minute touching the item, you learn 2 more pieces of information about it, and you have advantage on intelligence checks related to it. In addition, you can expend 1 technique point to cast the Identify ritual without a need for components. Ooh, love that. That's great at 3rd level. Sense secret. Your ability to read items helps you detect hidden passages, traps, and secret doors. When you touch the surface of a structure, such as a wall or floor, you have advantage on checks to notice or detect hidden passages, secret doors, and traps connected to connected to that surface within 30 feet of where you are touching the surface. If you detect a trap in this way, you have advantage on any checks made to disable or disarm it, and on saves to avoid or mitigate its effects. At the GM's discretion, you can detect traps not connected to the surface you're touching if the surface's memories hold other evidence of the trap's presence, such as an ancient memory of an exploding trap blowing a victim against a wall you're touching. Ooh, that's really cool. This feels this one right here, that right there feels like I'm playing Dark Souls and I'm seeing the echoes of people going around, and it's like I just watched someone die. What did they die from? I'm more alert now. I like that. Read foe. A creature's equipment, or even the detritus that clings to it, can reveal secrets about the creature to your fine-tuned senses. When you hit a creature with an unarmed strike, you can expend 3 technique points to give yourself advantage on attack rolls against that creature for 1 minute. Ooh, when you hit a creature with an okay, interesting. Okay. How many technique points are monks getting? I don't remember. At 7th level, is 3 a lot? It might just be like a normal amount. Yeah. I don't remember. I don't play monks a lot, so I don't know the numbers off the top of my head. Item communion. At 11th level, your ability to read items elevates to an almost spiritual connection with any item you touch. When you're using Read Echoes feature and touching an item for at least 1 minute, you can learn a number of facts about its properties and history equal to up to twice your proficiency bonus. Also, your unarmed strikes against the item treat its damage threshold as 10 lower to a minimum of 0 than it actually is. Oh my god, you got them big bulky doors with damage thresholds. I know how to do it. Bam! Straight through. Screw you and your damage threshold. In addition, attuning to magic items takes you only 1 minute instead of 1 hour. And if an item has charges, its maximum number of charges increase by an amount equal to your proficiency bonus you are attuned with. Ooh. Oh. Okay. That's pretty good. They get more uses out of magic items. Exploit weakness. When you hit a creature already affected by your Read Foe feature with an unarmed strike, you can expend 4 technique points to deal an extra 8d8 damage. Hello? That's so good. But I guess it is the exploit. 8d8 force damage is crazy, though. It's so good. Okay, Ranger class. They get the Spelunker. While rangers are known for exploring and traversing the natural world, it takes a certain kind of individual to focus on the dark, underground, cramped places of the world. Spelunkers excel at navigating caves, caverns, tunnels, dungeons, and any similar environments. To such rangers, the smell of minerals and fungi, the sound of water dripping, the gleam of a luminescent crystal formation, and even the scraping of stone against one's body are all reassuring sensations. I'm sure. At 3rd level, you gain dark vision at 3rd level, you gain dark vision out to a range of 60 feet. If you already have dark vision from your lineage, its range increases by 30 feet. Amazing. So you're looking at potentially up to 90 feet of dark vision. In addition, when viewing a lightly obscured area as a bonus action, you can tune your senses to ignore the normal disadvantage on perception checks that rely on sight for 10 minutes. Once you use this ability, you can't use it again until you finish a long rest. That's great. Love that. Fog. A light fog. I can get through that easy. Dust? Huh, absolutely nothing for me. I'm a friend of darkness. I don't know why I started using that voice. Shadowy ambush. You use the shadows to ambush your foes. When you attack from dim light, darkness, or magical darkness and hit a creature with a weapon attack, you deal extra damage. The extra damage is equal to the amount your mystic mark feature deals at your level and is of the same damage type as the weapon. You deal this extra damage only once per turn. Okay. So you can deal what, like double your mystic mark damage? Is that what? Okay, the extra damage is equal to the amount your mystic mark feature deals at your level and is of the same type as your weapon. So yeah, you basically get like a little extra like sneak attack damage with you don't even have to be using your mystic mark for this. This is just extra damage that you deal. So you can, if I'm reading this correctly, you can double up on the additional mystic mark damage as well. But also you can do this to things that don't have mystic mark. So if you're attacking ooh, okay, I like that. I like that. Spelunker casting spells. So you get Featherfall, Dark Vision, Water Breathing, Freedom of Movement, and Pass Wall. Good for spelunking, for sure, absolutely. All right, Cave Crawler at 7th level. You are adept at moving through subterranean spaces, no matter the terrain. As a bonus action, you can choose one of the following effects for an hour. You gain a climb speed equal to your base movement speed. If you already have a climb speed, it increases by 15 feet. You gain a swim speed equal to your base movement. So yeah, and then your jump distance is doubled. You take half the usual fall damage. You can do this a number of times equal to your proficiency bonus and regain all expended uses when you finish a long rest. The abilities granted by multiple uses of this feature can overlap. So for example, you could have both a climb speed and reduced damage from falling for whatever time remains on the first one activated. In addition, you suffer no penalties for squeezing into a smaller space. Ooh, this is really nice, actually. Just like whenever you want, you're like, okay, I can climb real good, or I can swim real good, or I can jump real good, or I can, I'm good at falling. Cave Crawler is nice. I like this. Friend of Darkness. Your time in the dark lets you energize yourself when hidden in the shadows. When you use your Stalker Step feature, you gain temporary hit points equal to your proficiency bonus. Nice. And last but not least, Subterranean Master. Your skills at navigating subterranean spaces grant you the following benefits. You get Keen Sense. Oh no, I'm sorry. Your Keen Sense class feature increases to 20 feet. You have learned to make quick adjustments in perilous situations. Once per turn, when you miss with a weapon attack, you can immediately re-roll and use the results of the new roll. You can use this ability a number of times equal to your proficiency bonus, and you regain all expended uses when you finish a long rest. Love it. I love all of the things that go off of your proficiency bonus now in all of this. There's a little bit more like record keeping as far as like, okay, how many times have I used this compared to my proficiency bonus, so on and so forth. But you do get to use more tools out of it, and they're all using the same max number. So really, you're just like clicking down. So I like that. Okay, and then the last one here before we head on off is the wizard subclass, the Reclaimer. Wizards in the Reclaimer tradition devote themselves to seeking out and recovering lost and forgotten magical knowledge, whether that be in the forms of items, spells, or other applications. This devotion often drives wizards from this tradition to explore ancient ruins and delve into dangerous dungeons in search of such magical knowledge. Many see the risk as justified if they find a new form of magic. So true. So true. All right, so at 3rd level, they get an expanded talent list. When you gain a new talent, you can select it from either the magic or the technical talents list. Ooh, that's fun. Habituated Arcana. You've studied obscure magical lore closely enough that it comes to you unbidden. You gain proficiency in the Arcana skill. If you already are proficient, double your proficiency bonus instead for Arcana checks. In addition, you did it again. Hey, why does that keep happening? I don't like that, actually. Hey, OBS, what's your deal? Why you like this, huh? Okay, reconnected. We're good. Okay, everything seems to have reconnected. Twitch is catching up to us. Come on. I'm gonna have to figure out what's the deal. I keep casting pratfall. Why do you keep doing this? James! Why would you do this to me? You know that I need this. Okay, magic acumen. Your magic sense class feature is sharpened to danger. When you use your magic sense feature and sense a magic trap, a magic item, or in an area afflicted with a curse, you have advantage on saves against it and on checks to disarm, suppress, or otherwise avoid or circumvent its effect. Ooh. Love that. In addition, magic sense now lasts up to 1 minute when you use it instead of until the end of your next turn. So you can use it. You can search a whole room. Love that. Countermanding incantation. Oh. Your exposure to ancient, sometimes malfunctioning magic has taught you how to unweave it. When you cast the dispel magic spell, you can add your proficiency bonus to the check. In addition, when you see a spell or other magical effect, you can use your reaction to ward yourself against its effects. You have advantage on saves against that spell or magical effects for 10 minutes. You can do this a number of times equal to your proficiency bonus and regain all expended uses. Oh my gosh. That's so good. That's so good. Oh, you've got the spell that you're trying to use on me a bunch? Well, you know what? I'm going to tell you that you suck. I'm warded, and you can't try to use it against me. You're going to keep trying to use that against me, and I'm going to keep telling you, it ain't going to work like that. It just ain't going to work like that, bud. I'm not letting you do that. Hold on, give me 1 second. I gotta... Yep. Sorry. GMs, write that one down. Write that one down. Sorry, I had to ban a bot in Twitch. Watching you. Okay. Yeah. No, this is great. This is great. This is really good. I love this. 11th level, we have Expansive Attunement. Your mission to reclaim lost magical knowledge extends to magic items. No, you're so good, Kim. I had to remember what the thing was for it. Your mission to reclaim lost magical knowledge extends to magic items. Attuning to an item takes you only 1 minute instead of 1 hour, similar to that monk feature. At the end of each long rest, you can choose an item that requires attunement. You become attuned to that item, but it doesn't count against the number of items you can attune to. Love that. You are proficient with that item if it is a tool or weapon. Oh, automatically being able to make yourself proficient with a new magical weapon that doesn't count against your... Ooh, this is really nice. This is really nice. That's so good. The special attunement lasts until the end of your next long rest, and then you just... keep doing it. I love that. And then magic item paroxysm. In a pinch, you can use an action to detonate the power within a magic item, destroying the item and causing a magical explosion around it. To detonate a magic item, you must be touching it if you aren't attuned to it, or within 30 feet if you are. If another creature is attuned to the magic item, that creature can make a wisdom save against your spell save DC to prevent the detonation. The size and damage of the explosion varies based on its rarity. Each creature in the radius must make a dex save against your spell save DC, taking the full damage on a failure, or half the damage on a success. You have advantage on the save if you are within the radius. Once you detonate the magic item, you must finish a long rest before you can do so again. You can't detonate artifacts or fabled magic items, and attempting to detonate a sentient magic item immediately causes conflict. If the sentient magic item wins the conflict contest, it doesn't detonate, and you might suffer other effects of the item's displeasure at the GM's discretion. Whew! This is wild. This is there's a lot of stuff in here. I guess I'm saying a lot. There's two. Both the mechanist and this wizard sees a magic item and goes, I don't like that. Blow it up. It's gone. Drain it of its magic. I don't want to see it. I really like these subclasses really diving into like interacting with magic items in new and interesting ways that I like. God, blowing up a legendary magic item does 14d6 force damage in a radius of 120 feet. That's kind of wild. Heck, even a common one is 4d6 at 20. Man, imagine just stocking up on common magic items that you're like, I'm not going to need this. Blow it up. Blow it up. That's crazy. It's 15th level, so it's not like, I get it. Cool. That's wild, though. And you're having to sacrifice it. Like, that thing's destroyed. It is gone. Also, imagine blowing up a sentient magic item. That's crazy. It's sentient. That's basically a person. Oh, my God. This is so cool. This is so cool. Well, everybody, that is just a brief glimpse into all of the very, 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 very good character options and also so much more of this book. Campaign Builder, Dungeons and Ruins. I want to play an Elegy Bard. Packed weapons be... Yeah, does it blow up packed weapons? I would have to look at the reading on packed weapons to see. Yeah, oof. Been reading the PDF along with you. I get the hardcover. Yes! I think my hardcover is also on its way pretty soon, I want to say. I have to check the shipping on that, but I'm super excited to get it and lie in my bed with a little lamp and flip through my book. It is, yes, thank you, Kim. Kim, I was talking about the issue that I had with USPS and how you came and saved me. Thank you so much. I'm so excited. They're not always sentient, but a lot of my warlike players have sentient weapons with their patrons. Ooh. Oh, I'm sure their patrons are going to love that one. Your hardcover arrived earlier this week. Yes, I'm so glad that people are getting their books. Oh, one day I will be with you. The weather screwed a lot of people. Yeah, it really did. Because it was like stuck in... Whatever, I can't get into this talk right now. We could talk about this in a body doubling. What was I saying? Okay, yes. Thank you all so... Hold on, wait. Come here. Thank you all so much once more for being here for Kobold Chats. I'm so glad to be back up and running. I'm at my new place, and that means things are going to be good once more. And you know what? I talked about that idea of just, maybe doing either another stream or maybe it would be a long-form video. I'll figure it out. Of just sitting down and going through, because we have so many adventures. And maybe maybe I'll go through a lot of the older ones. Every now and then, like, maybe we'll go through a new one. But I think it would also just be helpful. Just, like, going through them, see how we would prep them, things of that nature. So, yeah, so excited. Yeah, I think that'd be good. And maybe I'll bring, maybe it'll be similar to Kobold Chats, but I'll bring on guests. We'll go through adventures, and we'll just talk about it. I think that'd be fun. Yeah, I like that. All right, well, that's a conversation for another day. Thank you all so much for being here. And is there anything else? Yes, don't forget, you have until the end of February to late back Monster Vault 2 over on Kickstarter. If you do so, there's a higher chance that we hit that next stretch goal so we can get that adventure, which I think would be cool. And yeah, pre-order the Old Margreve, get Lady of the White Rose Manor, all that fun stuff that I talked about before. If you're watching this on YouTube, you can find links to those things in the description. So head on over and do that. And if you're watching this on YouTube, don't forget to or Twitch, don't forget to hit that follow, subscribe button or whatever, and that little bell that lets you get notified anytime we go live. That way, you know when this will happen, right? Kobold Chats happens every week, same time, same channel, over on @Kobold Press. And hey, it's just fun having you all here and getting to talk about this thing that I love. So it's great. All right, everybody. With that being said, don't forget to go out, be bold, be brave, and be valiant. And I'll see you next week. Bye.